Happy Wednesday, Grand Rising. Wednesday is the day ruled by Mercury. Mercury is the planet that rules perception and communication, like how we communicate. What are we perceiving in our reality? And realizing that our reality is actually a construct of how we feel in here. It's our inner landscape vibrating as matter outside of ourselves. And so the more we embody our God self, the more harmonious our experiences are outside of our body. And I know that I really push the limits of that for a lot of people. And so on Wednesdays, I offer so much gratitude to the ruler of Virgo and Gemini, Mercury, being here, because my soul center chart, natal chart, he's actually sandwiched directly between my sun and my ascending. And it's in the house of the true mother. I mean, this is my purpose here. So I love you all. First of all, thank you for sharing this time. Thank you, beautiful, luminous brother. Your presence is a true gift. Thank you. So, interestingly enough, the Ascended Masters that showed up for me today, I am tickled to the core and elated with this. Mwah! So, this sweet ascended soul that resides on the 7th plane has come to my side to say that healing is possible at all times, but for him to be present in today's poll to say, I will hold you through this day, after I posted what I posted last night, I don't know if any of y'all even realize like how immense this is. So there was a time Spirit wants me to share, because I was raised in the church, and when my father left, my mother stopped going to church, and so did all my siblings, but I continued to go. I was even a Sunday school teacher for a while, but I don't know if you know a whole lot about like the Catholic religion and like the practice and the routine and the deep ceremony of Catholic religion, but it's interesting how all of the priests practice meditation, but it's never taught in sermon. And so the way that I was talked to by other teachers in the religion and the way that I was treated when I asked questions, it kind of forged that less than mentality. So I never dreamed of summoning Jesus as someone that I would commune with. There were other ascended masters and I called them fairies as a child, but other angels that I would commune with and speak with. And it was actually a Swami in my 30s that said, you talk to this person, but you don't talk to Jesus? And I said, well, I learned very young that prayer is talking to spirit. Meditation is listening. And so I don't do a whole lot of talking. He goes, let's call Jesus. And I literally chuckled because I was like, okay, like, let's see if he shows up, right? And I literally felt like that, like he ain't showing up for me, right? Sassy New York, little nobody. Okay, call him. Like, you do that, you call him. And immediately I felt his frequency and vibration wash over me. And I was immediately drawn to tears. And it was kind of like that old commercial, where the child is watching the sunset with her dad under the tree on the hill, and the sun sinks really quick when it hits that horizon. But the child looks at the dad and like, do it again, daddy. It was so like that. Like I gave him the props for that. And I was like, do it again. And he's like, don't you get it? You're a holy woman. And that was the first time I had ever been called that. You know, I've been called many things all through my 20s. Like I would meet people in the subway or on a plane flying, because I moved out here when I was only 20 in Arizona by myself. And had people say, you don't even know who you are. And I was always spiritual, but hiding. And so when people say, where did you learn from? I am not taught. This is not read wisdom. This is literally wisdom that is my birthright. And I've always been this. And had it not been for my grandmother that I spent every summer with her saying, God chose you, Sherry. That's why you know what you know. That's why you see what you see, but don't tell people, they don't understand. So she both helped me embody my own truth, but also was a reason why I hid it, because I was scared. And then I have that deep soul core wound of being destroyed, many lives for it. So it took me a long time to become comfortable sharing with people, and my circle has always remained super tiny, but I'm getting more and more brave sharing the truths that I have known all along since my childhood. And so I'm working on that. Thank you, Becca. And so tied with, she said, the story is epically powerful. I love the synchronicity. It's tied with the Ascended MasterCard. Most absolutely. This is what I'm saying, like the post I made, and then for him to show up in my spread, it's beautiful. It's really beautiful. And I am always obedient to spirit. And up until 2016, that obedience was in private. And I started becoming public in 2016. And I do know that there's lots of forces that would love to stop me and would wish I would shut the fuck up. But it's not gonna happen. Because, bum, bum, bum. Archangel Ariel says, have courage. And be courageous and stand up for your beliefs. Speak your piece, because that's what it be about. And then St. Francis, follow your heart. So like, is this not the dream team of support after my post? Like, does anyone want to show me a different angle of that perspective? Because like, I'm saying I am bursting with gratitude, like giddy with gratitude. And so the temptress says, do not be swayed, because there will be some that will try to take you out of your truth. But you always have the truth, because you are the embodiment of truth. Becca says, it is so, the dream team. You can't argue with that shit. Exactly. It is the Holy Trinity. Thank you, brother. And so my dreams need a practical plan. So I am not kidding when I say this card triggers the fuck out of me every time it shows up, because I am not a planner. I am a free spirit, and I allow the currents to move me. So when this says my dreams need a practical plan, it triggers the hell out of me. So like literally the only planning I do is every new moon, I create the focus wheel, I set it and let it. Like, and I teach that, set it and let it, because I literally have nothing happening here. I am a conduit. Everything comes through me. I am not thinking before I speak, see? It just, boom, comes through me. So like the practical plan thing is like against everything that I am. So what I'm going to do, because I got this card and I'm going to be obedient, is create a focus wheel just for today. So I know that we are coming into the Lionsgate portal, so possibly that's why it's pushing me to do this. And really learning to be a better human, because I'm so way little bit human and so a lot of it spirit. And so I think that that's also what this card wants me to do. So Lorena says, I've been learning practicality and letting the rest of the universe come through. It's been new but beautiful. Yes. So it's really, I always surrender into the unknown. I just say, this would be nice or something better. Right? So I'm always asking when good stuff happens, thank you, universe. Like this Trinity showing up, and I say, thank you. How can it get any better? How can it get any better? And that's the practicality of it, right? So yeah, how can it get any better? I could have a divine partner, universe, hint, hint. Yes, Lorena. So the great severing, Mars energy. This, remember, came up the other day when I talked about being Venus and having the conversation with Mars about being a more effective warrior by being in his integrity and taking his rage through his heart instead. So you become a more effective warrior when you're heart-centered. And that's exactly what this card talks about. The great severing is about giving up the fight and surrendering. That rage is sacred because it creates change. But if you bring that rage through the ego and fight, you will always disempower yourself. And that is a fact. So the sacred geometry that showed up today, which I also love. And you're welcome for the song. I'm here almost every day. So anyway, and it's the number 7 card, by the way, 7's sacred number. This is a yin yang. And so owl and raven. So raven is my protector when I'm away from home. Owl is my totem and my protector here on my property. His name is Jules, and he lives in the palm tree and leaves me beautiful feathers. Which one is his feather? So, and these were actually gifted to me by beautiful divine brother and sister. And they're not actually brother and sister. They're soul brother and sister. So yin yang, the owl and raven, talks about the balance, and that I speak balance back into consciousness because I am now embodying balance. And I love that validation because I do feel that within myself. I felt it most especially December of 2019 was the most powerful display of balance. I went through fire initiation, sweat lodge, and when I returned, that was the first time I actually posted a full body profile picture on Facebook, and I didn't get any inappropriate messages or DMs, but I was wearing like a little half sweater. Okay, and I'm not a young chick, okay, but I posted that jeans, little half sweater, and this one man said, oh, you can show your body, but can you show your mind? And I was like, you're new here. But he has a point. I'm gonna really show my body. And that's when I made the post where I showed my full front. Of course, I had a sweater covering my breasts, but I showed my chest tattoo and literally almost my whole torso. And I shared my story. And again, no inappropriate DMs or dick pics or messages. And I knew in that moment I had arrived in that sweat lodge when I actually went early. And the chief had asked me if I would anchor goddess energy for the sweat. Huge honor because he didn't even know me. But when we were building the fire, he asked if I would anchor masculine energy. And I was like, whoa. Here I am in this uber feminine body in a white dress, building a fire, and he asked me to call in masculine energy to build this fire. And what an endowment. Asking me also to anchor goddess energy in the lodge, but to call in masculine energy for the fire. And then when we got into the lodge, asked if I would bless all the first layer of stones. And so for those of you who have never been in a lodge, feminine was never really allowed into lodge. And when they were finally allowed into lodge, it was still a space of subservience to the males. And for him to actually recognize me, it was such an endowment and really an initiation. And I had been in many sweats prior to that, but never given those honors. And so it was huge, and I knew that transformed me. And so when I came back to share those things and to not be approached that way. So my phone is dry as a Sahara, my DMs are dry as a Sahara, and I am grateful for that, because that means that I receive the reverence that I deserve. And I am recognized for that. Even in the dance, even when I started sharing my dance. So even as sensual as some of my dances are, I never receive that type of attention. And I know it's the balance. It is the harmony of my reality, because that's what I create. And Sweet Brother says, you earn those stripes the hard way. I see you. Yeah, it was not easy. And so that was my message yesterday, because I got that one card that triggered me that says, okay, just do what your heart tells you to do, because there's lessons. And whenever I hear that, I'm like, I don't want them to be hard anymore. So I am knowing for myself that my lessons from now on are not going to be the type of lessons that destroy me to build me up, but rather teach in a gentle, grandmotherly way. Troy says, he saw a peer and respect for you as a powerful soul. It's that. Yes, Troy. And that is the type of partner that I am calling to me now. And that's why I have to go it alone for a little bit, because he is still preparing someone that can actually be comfortable with my power, because it has not been that way. And clean it up. Clean it up. It's the 77721, which is a 777. Love that. Clean it up says, stop cleaning someone else's side of the street. It's not your job. Okay, I can do that. I can let them clean it themselves. So I like being reprimanded by my cards sometimes. And, well, all the time, actually. No one holds me accountable like I hold me accountable. So when it shows up in my cards, I'm like, all right, yeah, I deserve that. You're right. And I take it and I say, I resolve to do better. Thank you for showing me that. And spontaneity. So this is my ally for the day, calcite. So spontaneity is not willy-nilly, let's do it, let's throw caution to the wind. A lot of people believe that. Spontaneity is inspired, driven action. So when you are in your highest integrity and heart-centered, you allow spirit to direct your course. Those are the breadcrumbs left by synchronicity, spirit, the universe, your divine guidance. That's what spontaneity is. It's radical obedience. That's what that is. It's not saying like, fuck it, I ain't gonna work today. Let's go smoke a bone and put our feet in the ocean. That's That's what people believe spontaneous is, right? But real spontaneity is not willy-nilly, and it's not a disregard for reverence or falling out of integrity or disrespect for anyone else's path. Spontaneity is inspired, driven action. And inspiration comes from our soul center. So when you are in your highest integrity and when you have an open heart and you let the heart lead, spontaneity then becomes, I have faith and I am obedient and I surrender to spirit and the unknown. That is true spontaneity. Saying, let's not go to work and do blah, 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 that's actually a plan, man. That's trying to control your reality. That's not spontaneous at all. Just saying. No, it's just calcite, but this is from Iceland. It's a beautiful optical calcite. Let me see if I can get the light to hit it just right, because it's got all kinds of rainbows in it. It's just delicious. I can't. Oh. I hope you guys can see from that angle. I'm here playing. I love show and tell. Like, this is my favorite part. Because these are actually living things. And I love being in commune with all of the energy that surrounds me. So like even my altar, there's no such thing as inanimate objects. My altar is also my ally. Corbin says, I love being in genuine spontaneity. Yes. And it's the easiest thing. Thank you, Amanda. I know you always be loving on my stones. And Elise says, yes, it is so pretty. Thank you, Elise. So the whirling goddess showed up again. This is the one that talks about having a head can't fit through the eye of a needle. So the thread cannot fit through the eye of a needle if it has a head, right? So it's about losing your head, because now I have reached a level of ascension on my path, on my spiritual path, that if I keep this, if I allow this to even enter into the equation, it can actually affect my path. So I have to completely lose my head and become the whirling goddess, being spontaneous and dancing my way through the human experience and feeling the balance and harmony and dancing with these folks today, y'all. So that's the whirling goddess. Lose your head. Lose your head. And when you come to a closed door and spirit says, come here, but the door is locked, don't then say, how can I open this door? You must go through the keyhole. But you have to lose your head to get through there. So that is the spread for today. That is the spread for today. Thank you all for sharing your most valuable commodity with me. It's such a gift. I am so grateful for all of you, for your time and your energy. Thank you. I am sorry for any misalignment or any disharmony that I have created. Please forgive me. Thank you for this opportunity. I love you. I love you. I love you.